Hi everyone, welcome to Must Read Monday. My name is Dabney. I'm the young adult librarian with the Twin Lakes Libraries, and I use they, them pronouns. For today's episode, I wanted to go over my top 10 favorite young adult books that I've read this year. And let me preface this by saying I've read or listened to almost 600 books this year. So for these to stand out, it means a lot, because it's not oh yeah, I read 20 books this year and these are my top 10. No, I read and listened to hundreds of books this year, and there are so many more I wanted to get to. So yeah, always reading, always finding new things. So let me get started with some sequels. So these are books that are part of a series, and go there. So Furysong, I just finished this one. This is the third and final book of the Aurelian cycle, and I highly recommend this if you enjoy a really good, complex fantasy world. If you like dragons even a little bit, if you just think dragons are cool, definitely read this. It's kind of like How to Train Your Dragon meets I don't know, the Roman Empire invading other lands. I love the characters. So the character development is amazing. Just everything about this series, I feel like it's top tier. It's very dark at times, very violent, but it's just so good. And the ending was so good. Love it, love it, love it. The other one that I don't have a copy of because it's checked out right now is Greywaren. This is the final book of the Dreamer trilogy. It's amazing. So for those of you who don't know, the Raven Cycle is probably my favorite book series of all time, and then the Dreamer trilogy is about some of those characters from the Raven Cycle and what they're doing now that they've graduated high school. And it's so good. Lots of new characters are introduced. The world building just explodes, and especially in this third book, I'll just say any theories you might have had about the characters and their powers and where they came from and the family dynamics, you were probably wrong. I was definitely wrong. I was my mind was blown over and over again in Greywaren, and I loved it. I definitely feel like it makes me want to go back and reread all of these books, all 7 books of 4 books of the Raven Cycle, 3 books of the Dreamer trilogies, because it blew my mind that much. Highly recommend. The rest of my books are standalones, and we're going to get started with another one that's checked out right now. It's called Me, Moth, and it is a novel in verse, and it was just gorgeous. It made me cry, so that's another reason why it stands out to me, is it had me sobbing in the middle of the night as I was reading this book. It's beautifully written. It takes you in unpredictable places. It just really got to me, and I just think everyone should read it and just feel things deeply and cry. Another one that I just recently finished is We Deserve Monuments. This is one that came out this year, just very recently, and it's about a high school senior, Avery, and her family moves from DC to a small town in Georgia to take care of her grandmother who's dying of cancer. And this story, it really gets into it. It gets into a lot of family history, drama, tragedy, and as well as getting into the history of the town and the community. And it was really good, as well as there's a love story in here too, and really great friendships, and it was amazing. Very good. So much happens. You will not believe. Next, another one that came out this year is self-made boys, so I absolutely love everything by Anna-Marie McLemore, so much so that one of my other books is by them. And this one is a retelling of the Great Gatsby story, where Nick and Gatsby are both trans boys, and I love that. I just absolutely loved everything about this book. You know, kind of looking at how queer people were living during the 1920s and like what that would look like was really amazing, as well as getting more diversity on the page because Nick's family, I believe, Nick is Latinx, and so is his cousin Daisy, and just kind of like that also tying in with the story and the setting was really good and really well done. So it was great. And also, like, if you've read The Great Gatsby, I'm just gonna spoil this. If you read The Great Gatsby and you're like, oh my god, I don't think I could deal with a certain character dying again, well, they don't die in this book, so you know, I was worried about that going into it, so I just wanted to like reassure you. The other book that really stood out, Lakelore, also by Anna-Marie McLemore, and this is about two non-binary teens kind of meeting, reconnecting, becoming friends, and also dealing with like this kind of magic revolving around their lake and how it's kind of affecting their reality. And yeah, I liked it a lot. It was very unique, very, very beautiful. Continuing on, Snake Falls to Earth by Darcie Little Badger. I love Darcie Little Badger's writing and writing style. It's very unique and very like comforting to me. Like, I can't even describe it. I think it's just like also the characters and the fact that these stories are very much about like friendships and families and not like romance or love stories, which, don't get me wrong, I read a ton of romance. I love romance, but sometimes like I just want to break and want to concentrate on like other things. And I also like that this, you know, the main character is Lapin Apache, and so you also get that representation on the page. And the other like group of characters are from the spirit world. So the other is Ollie, who is a cottonmouth kid. So a little snake here, and I just keep flipping this open because this is like fake snake skin, and I just really love that. So yes, this was one of my favorite reads of the year. Kind of related, but When the Angels Left the Old Country, I'm currently reading this, and I wasn't even like 50 pages in and was like, this is gonna be one of my favorite books of the year. Like, it's just gonna be that way because it's so unique. Like, it's not like any other book I've read. You know, I was thinking like it doesn't feel young adult, it doesn't feel adult, it just feels kind of ageless and really good and like really relatable. So it's about little Ash, who is a demon, and this angel who, at least at the start of the book, doesn't have a name and later gets a name. And the angel also doesn't have a gender, which I love. And they decide they are going to go to America with the people from their shtetl, which is like a Jewish community. So they're following these people to America to make sure they're doing okay and to find out like what this new world is. And there's other stuff going on that's really good. There's like some human characters as well. Rose, who they meet as they board the ship, and they get to learn more about Rose and like what she's going through. So it's just like, to me, I don't know, these two kind of have a similar vibe in my head, just like this more relaxed and kind of calming storytelling that is just, I don't know, I'm like really enjoying it though. And somebody, I think, compared it to Good Omens, which I was kind of thinking of as I was reading it, just because of like angel and demon working together, but not really. Like, they're kind of like, oh, we're not really working together, but we are friends, you know. It's very nice. And then we got a couple more. Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Malinda Lo. And so I love this one because it was like 1950s San Francisco, and like two queer girls meeting and like falling in love, and kind of looking at all of that going on, as well as like one of the girls being Chinese American, and sort of feeling like, you know, her identity is not really fitting in with like what her family wants for her. So, you know, and then also just she has like these different aspirations, like she wants to go into like science fields, and that's also not, you know, kind of what her family expects for her. So it was a lot going on in this book, and it was just very vibrant. Like the setting, the characters, the history of it all, just it's unlike anything I'd read, and really stood out to me, and I really enjoyed it. So very good. And my last book is Man o' War by Cory McCarthy, and this one I really like because you're meeting a character kind of like at the very beginning of them, like questioning, not even questioning, actually being kind of hostile to any idea of like being queer or trans, and then seeing them go from like that very rough starting place through like their whole journey, through middle school, high school, college. And I really like that, just because I feel like a lot of these stories you get after characters have already figured everything out, and this felt very genuine to me. And, you know, I also like that the character's not perfect. Their story's not perfect. It's pretty messy and kind of heartbreaking at times, but very, very good. And also I like getting stories about athletes and trans athletes, and like reading about that, and this was like really, really well done. So yeah, very good. And very, very briefly, I grabbed a few manga and graphic novels, because y'all know I'm always reading manga and graphic novels. A couple new to me series this year that I greatly enjoyed: Spy X Family. It's hilarious. So if you need something lighthearted, you need to laugh, I definitely recommend it. It's about a spy who fake marries an assassin and like adopts a little girl that neither of them know is a mind reader. So this whole family, they don't know nothing about each other, and they're just trying to make like this fake family for reasons, and it's just like nonstop hilariousness. Night of the Ice, I love this. It's about this ice skater who he's trying to be like top ice skater in Japan, but he needs help and a confidence boost from his childhood best friend. And so this one is just really cute. Like, their love story is very cute. I also love ice skating, so that was beautiful. It's 11 volumes. Highly, highly recommend it. Some graphic novels, just to shout out. Heartstopper is not new to me. I've read the whole series. Like, it's still ongoing. It's a webcomic as well if you can't get your hands on copies. But, you know, the TV series came out this year, and I loved it. I think a lot of people loved it. As a long-time reader, it just made me really happy to see the show and to see, like, the warm reception to it. So, if you haven't read it, check it out. There's 4 volumes in our collection. This one, Mamo loved it. Witches on a little rural community. That's all I'm gonna say. It was beautiful. The story was beautiful. The art was beautiful. The characters were great. Witchy stories are a fave. And then Lore Olympus. It's also a webcomic that got published, and I read the first 2 volumes. I absolutely love it. It's like a modern retelling of the Persephone and Hades story, and so good. I love like the reinterpretation of these characters into modern times. I love like the character design for them. There are characters you just love. There are characters you hate. And it just gives me a lot of feels. So definitely check out this series. So those are kind of my top reads of the year. I'd love to hear what you all enjoyed and what you're looking forward to in 2023. So this is our last episode of the year. It's been a privilege bringing books to you all. All right, bye.